You're listening to theoutdoorstation.co.uk. It's a podcast. It's a magazine. No, it's a podzine.
On a recent trip to Scotland up on the Cape Wrath Trail, I used a Paramo Velez Smock because I decided to try some different materials, some different products compared to the usual layering system I've used in the past. And now I was very impressed with the Paramo. It did everything it said on the tin, of course, but it was very interesting the way the material performed. And so I've been in contact with the head office, and Matt Semark has popped down to see me and showed me the range of products. And we're going to go through a few of the Paramo items which may be of interest to general outdoors people in all sorts of areas of interest, be it hiking or mountain walking, as well as bushcraft and so on. So first of all, Matt, welcome and thanks for joining me.
Hello.
Now, most people probably recognise the Cascada jacket as being the traditional Paramo product that they've seen on the shelves or probably seen in advertising and so on. And I don't want to go into sort of massive details about each of these items we're going to touch on, but I would like to touch on some of the key elements that make them so popular.
May I first say, the Cascada jacket is really the backbone of the Paramo range. Has been very, very popular with hill walkers and ramblers alike over very many years, due to its effective placement of its features. Two decent cargo pockets, a mat pocket inside, typical sort of double over storm flaps, and a decent hood.
The waterproofing, the technicality behind the Paramo range is fairly unique. Do you want to just give people who've sort of just touched on the knowledge of Paramo a bit more of an explanation about how the actual waterproofing and the breathability works?
The background of Paramo has really come from almost Mother Nature, and how Mother Nature's dealt with moisture movement over the years, and such to say it hasn't changed. The outside fabric is a windproof polyester, and underneath we use a pump liner, which obviously gives you masses of breathability and is able to pump moisture away from the body as well.
Well, certainly, that's just referring back to my recent trip with the Velez there, the conditions I was in, it was sort of springtime, it was fairly warm, we did suffer from a lot of rain for a few days. I was obviously impressed with the waterproofing, that was great from that point of view, but I have to say I don't think I've experienced such effective breathability. I didn't seem to have that microclimate building up between my base layer and the actual inside of the smock.
It's really down to the fact that nothing is really held back. We don't use any bonded membranes or coatings, and there's no taped seams, which again it would normally inhibit any breathability. But really, it's built like that just to sort of deal with the harshest of UK conditions.
Who do you find sort of using this particular product, the Cascada jacket? Is this just like, this is the backbone, the bread and butter of the sort of range, so the general rambler as opposed to the sort of high active user or the mountain user?
We tend to appeal to everyone. It really is very much end user in several different environments, from Dartmoor rescue teams and all the mountain rescue teams across the country, to ramblers and a lot of dog walkers, and they end up using it day in, day out, just purely on a comfort basis.
One thing that you touched on earlier on this afternoon when we looked through the range was just how you've also catered for the people who want to be subtle in their presence, in the sense that some of the products have reflective strips on them and sort of a fairly clear from a distance, and the others are very, very mute.
It tends to be Paramo's used in various conditions and by quite a range of activities as well, and so we've tried to maintain some very, very decent styles that are very sort of specific to that sort of area. So we have a hill and hike range and a high activity range. Each caters for the specific characteristics in a jacket that a customer might need, as in short, lightweight jackets and longer, more protective jackets as well.
So I presume you're looking from that point of view that the sort of the less reflective ones being suitable for the bushcraft people or the bird watchers and so on, people who want to keep their presence sort of fairly quiet.
Yeah, the fabric tends to lend itself to that, and really it's been discovered by those end users, and now has been developed into one or two more different styles to suit that market.
I've certainly seen a lot of people on the TGO Challenge, which is the 200-mile walk across Scotland, which takes place in May of each year, using probably the Velez as the most consistent. That's probably the first time I saw the product, and I know I've recently tried it myself, but that's the one that has attracted my interest. And I notice now that you've got specific or a new range of colour swatches for the female market, as well as a specific cut.
Yeah, that really comes into the garment that we call the Velez Adventure, which is a development of the traditional Velez jacket, and now it's slightly more enhanced with a full face hood, obviously giving you more protection. But yes, you're quite right in what you say. The Velez has a massive following, just due down to its very practical design and features.
Well, just to explain to people what the difference is between the standard Velez and the Adventure.
Yeah, the Velez Adventure now has what you would normally come across as a traditional full face hood, simply just done up and secured with your main zip, rather than on the old Velez, which had the advantage of having a pop off hood. Obviously, it's horses for courses, and different people in different disciplines and environments are going to benefit from each garment.
I mean, I'd be interested to know the sort of customers you have that use that particular product, because having now experienced it, I can see certainly the silence of the material itself. It doesn't crackle the same way as perhaps other materials do, which is makes for a quieter, a pleasant experience. But not only from a hiking experience, how I used it, and a mountain experience, but I should imagine people like kayakers, or perhaps even the bushcraft community, again, even though it's an artificial fabric and they've got to consider the danger or possibility of burning a hole in it. You would keep away from flames, obviously, but certainly the kayakers must find that a useful product as well. Of the range of products that you do, that particular one has a lot of features that possibly would appeal to them. And also, you were saying you used it yourself for powerboating.
Yeah, obviously the cut and style of it lends itself ideally for a little bit of open boating, and again for powerboating, when you're in a sort of seated position, the short cut of the jacket is ideally suited for any activity like that.
Well, let's move on to the next one that's on the rack here. Now, this one has caused a bit of discussion, certainly on various forums that I've seen, and a bit of amusement as well in many respects, because it's a bit confusing on how it can be possibly used to its best. Now, this is the third element, which, if I can describe it properly, it's a full zip jacket, but the arms and the head, the hood of the jacket, all zip off at the shoulders, giving you the chance to have a gilet and a hood with the arms attached as a separate item. What's the thinking behind this?
The thinking behind it is really making it into a truly versatile jacket for anyone travelling and day hiking. When you put yourself into a climate where you've got changeable conditions, and sort of certainly during the spring and summer, where obviously it's cold in the mornings and warm during the day, you've got the versatility of having a jacket when it cools off, and the gilet when it warms up a little bit. It's really been designed so it's practical and very, very lightweight, and obviously appeals to a lot of people having a full zip.
Well, it's about, I think it's about a 700 gram mark, if I looked looking on the catalogue there. And I know a couple of people that have used them, and as you say, they've used them very successfully. But what sort of feedback have you got from customers? How are people using them?
Well, the feedback is very, very exciting when it comes to the garment. There's not very many other products quite like it on the market, and it's most people when they first try them on, they smile. You get a very, very good reaction, and they love the uniqueness of the style. But the sort of situations people are using them in is really just for day to day, as well as rambling across the moorland and the open moors. And it just suits people down to the ground, having two garments in one, really. that they can use in pretty much any condition. It does also have the added advantage of using the hood and the shoulders separately as well. If you're having, say, crib on a rock on top of the moors and you get a little bit chilly, you can throw it around your shoulders and arms and use it almost like a blanket.
Okay, well, we'll watch that one. Very interesting as that develops, because it's a very unique product, and certainly you do have a very effective gilet there. But seeing people with just the hood and the arms on them, it's a bit of an unusual experience to witness for the first time, isn't it?
It's I think really to really experience that in its best way, you have to put yourself in a situation where you do personally require it. And I would personally suggest that it's rather like if you were a little bit cold and you wanted to pick up something just to keep the chill off. Normally, as your parents would have done when you were a child, is they throw a blanket around the top of your shoulders, and it works in very, very same kind of way, and gives you it's a lovely comfort factor.
Excellent. Well, it's also got the same, obviously, all of the waterproofing facilities that the previous jackets we've discussed, and the Paramo features, which make it very, very useful. Right, now let's move on to this. Now, tell me about this particular this top.
These are the mountain pull-on. There's quite a wide range of different styles, all using the same fabrics, and they all combined. They all use the same Parameter S fabric. It's reversible, and it's sold as a two garments in one.
Okay, well, let's just stop you there. So is it classed as a mid layer or a base layer?
It can actually be classed as both. We do several styles. The mountain is a lot slimmer cut, and so it can be used as a base layer and is very, very effective when it's worn like such. We do other more sort of casual, looser garments as well, which obviously being slightly looser do work very, very well as a mid layer.
Okay, but it's reversible. So tell me about the reversible features of it.
The reversible features of it, one side is obviously has a fleecy texture, traps warm air, and obviously just like a normal fleece would do, keeps you warm. The opposing side has the ability of wicking moisture away and spreading it very, very quickly. And so really mimicking what your body's doing by perspiring, it's giving you something that the heat can evaporate against and lose a bit more heat. But there is a drastic difference between the both layers when you wear them actually physically out on the hill. It really works and comes thoroughly recommended.
And presumably, obviously, it naturally works with any of the jackets on top in those sort of circumstances where you need to get rid of the moisture as fast as possible. Yeah,
especially it's one of those garments. If you did get it completely wet, it's you can literally wring it out, and the fleecy textured side does feel almost instantly very, very dry to the touch, and will obviously maintain a certain amount of heat inside it again as well.
And give me some examples. Who's using this? How are they using it? Is it it's specifically more popular in one area or another?
It's being recognised. The mountain top and the other garment that we do, which is the looser one called the Explorer top, are really getting recognised as very, very popular, comfortable garments. Obviously, one being more casual and the other one being more suited to being worn as a base layer. They're obviously being traditionally worn by people who know the effectiveness and the high performance of the Paramo garments, but they've also been used by people such as the British Antarctic Survey.
Okay, well, let's just move further along the rack now. This is a new product, I understand, for this year, and it's been sort of currently it's in the shops at the moment, and obviously under development as you get feedback on it. But I understand it's quite popular sort of for the general country market and the sort of bushcraft market.
Yeah, this is the Katmai shirt, and it's one of 3 different fabrics that we use. Traditionally, we've always used regular weight. We've introduced a lightweight fabric recently, and now this is the new Cotton Plus. Okay, just to stop you there, just so people don't get confused, the other fabrics we're talking about are, should we say, the ones already established in the range, that are the pull-on tops and the T-shirts and so on, and the travel shirt. Is that right? This is something slightly different. Yeah, this is a slightly different tangent on it, and with the way the jackets and garments have evolved, we've encompassed a lot more people from different walks of life. One, like you're quite rightly saying, is the countryside interest, the bird watching element, and the bushcraft. The bushcraft, this has really been made to suit. Obviously, using cotton makes it much more durable for the guys out in the bush for a long time on long trips.
So it's not as technical, should we say? It doesn't dry as fast, obviously, being sort of cotton rich or more cotton rich than some of the other products. It doesn't dry as fast as the polyester based products.
Yeah, obviously the cotton element in there, it does slow it down drying a little bit, as you'd expect, but it still maintains the parameters a directional theme where it will spread moisture very, very quickly to evaporate it off and dry out.
So it's a technical product from that point of view, in the sense it's wicking away the moisture, and obviously being more cotton based, it makes it safer nearer fires and that sort of thing.
Yes, that's quite right. It's that really is the intention behind it.
I mean, I can see that being quite popular as well, sort of with people, doing travelling, general world travelling. Cause it's got a nice security pocket there in the chest, as well as a traditional double pocket either side there of that suits a smart shirt.
It's packed full of features. It's got a nice collar, a very, very nice cut. It's loose enough to be very, very comfortable in, with adjustable cuffs on it too. So really, you can control the garment as and when you please, to sort of do up the cuffs and undo them as you need to.
Now we're looking at it sort of what colour would you call that now?
It's called sedge, and really, if you think of any jungle shirt you've ever seen before, this is it, all in one package. It's you could call it a dark beige or maybe a light tan.
Okay, is that the only colour it comes in?
Yes, just one colour at the moment. This is the first year of launch, so obviously feedback's been superb all the way through. So watch this space.
Excellent. Obviously touching on the travelling market, as we were just touching about, that's got to be an important part, because the technical performance of a lot of the fabrics and the products that you've got would suit the warmer climes just as much as they suit our cold, humid climes, as it were. These trousers are very, very light. Tell me a bit more about these.
Yeah, traditionally we've always done a trouser called the Marapi, which is really, really well known for being so lightweight. The Maui is really more of a commercial piece, suited to the UK market all year round. It's still the same polyester fabric, slightly weighted up to give it a really nice hanger appeal and a nice hang in the fabric, and is really sort of a lot more suited to all year round in UK conditions. Obviously, being still a lightweight travel trouser makes it quick drying and packable.
So, I mean, it's a travel trouser, but presumably it's a general outdoors trouser as well, because you've got two large cargo pockets either side, which I presume are big enough for a map. There's even a small additional pocket, which is obviously phone size. You've got two deep pockets at the around the waist there, and you've got zip pockets on the back.
Yeah, of course, we're Paramo, so we do aim at practical. And yes, you're quite right. The side pockets do actually take a full-size Ordnance Survey map, and the mobile phone pocket also takes a nice small mobile phone. We've also got extra stitch panels, or extra stitching inside the knee area, to give you a good amount of articulation in the knee as well.
Fantastic. We'll just move slightly down the rack to the last few items we just want to talk about. Now, we've all looked for it and found been very hard to find it. Decent underwear when you're actually having an active outdoor lifestyle can sometimes be a bit of a problem. As we've all visited our favourite high street retailer and probably gone through various emotions with soggy underwear. And certainly doing some research on this over the last 12 months or so, there's actually only a handful of companies that are producing products which are really practically useful for outdoor activities, as well as for travelling as well, because obviously you want products which are going to keep you comfortable, keep you cool, and obviously be easy to clean and dry as well. Now, what I didn't realise, I knew about the Paramo jackets, I knew about the performance of the majority of the fabrics used, but I didn't realise you had, 3-4 sort of underwear items.
Yeah, we tend to do briefs, boxers, and micro shorts, and a lot of things. And obviously, each one has its own following. The main one that's really exciting at the moment is the boxers. They've got a massive following. We now produce the boxers and the ladies' micro shorts in triple packs due to demand, and really it's coming down to a point where we can't make enough of them. They're superbly comfortable, and I always remember the first day or the first week I started working for Paramo, an old colleague of mine phoned me up and asked me if I could get him a few pairs, so which I asked him, how many pairs do you want? He said, can you get me 20? The guy is, fantastic chap, known him for many years, but he's totally devoted to the Paramo Cambia base layers, and I think it's really a testament to how comfortable they are out on the hill.
Certainly, people that I know who are Paramo fans, such as Andy, he's always been a great advocate of Paramo. Very much, once they get into the brand, they really do start to understand where you're coming from and where the material's coming from, and the design and so on. And I've learned an awful lot from you from the last couple of hours or so. You've very kindly gone through the entire range and tried to help explain more about the products and the materials used. So I must thank you for that. Do you have a set idea of who the Paramo customer is? Do you have a sort of a vision of a typical Paramo customer?
Yes, I always did have. That's rapidly changing and evolving, I should say. Traditionally, it's generally always been walkers, ramblers, mountaineers, and rescue teams. But now we're seeing a much younger influx come in, and obviously demanding newer, more exciting styles as well.
Do you also find that there's interest in the product's features which are coming in from different areas of activity, like, for example, horse riders, equestrian users and bushcraft users and kayakers and so on, that are looking for a product which is more multi-usable in different disciplines? Yeah,
obviously there is that element there. Sadly, it's only the people in the know that appreciate how versatile our products are. But word is spreading, and obviously as years go on, the company is getting bigger and bigger. One thing I would just like to say is never forget that Paramo is a renewable product as well. Obviously, very easy to care for, and no actual bonded coatings or membranes to actually wear out. So it's literally throw it in the machine with some nick wax and reproof it once a year, and job done. It's also repairable as well. And the garment's performance isn't really affected with any nicks and tears. It can be stitched up by yourself at home, just with a needle and thread, and so back to normal again. Obviously, Paramo themselves do their own professional repairs as well. So if you do ever have a mammoth or an epic accident, you can still get panels replaced, which is quite unique, and obviously get your jacket back as good as new again.
And what sort of guarantees do you give on the products?
Well, all the products have got a lifetime guarantee against any manufacturing faults and defects, which is quite unique. So we can often find jackets coming back for the odd pop stub replacement or the odd repair after about 10-15 years of use.
And I believe Andy also had a chat with Catherine as well about the ethical policies of the company, which are also very positive.
Yeah, the ethical side of things started many years ago, and the products are produced by what was at the time a UNICEF-funded project called the Michelina Foundation, and it's produced. It was run by a nun originally, and still is to this day, I believe, and it supports local ladies who haven't had such an easy life, and gives them some good working conditions, creche facilities and housing, and has grown stronger and stronger over many years.
Well, thanks once again for your time. I wish you all the best with the range of products. It is very interesting, and certainly I know that I certainly suggest people to, if they can, explore their local Paramo dealer and find out more about the actual products themselves. But certainly there's quite a few here that we've looked at today which are of interest to me and certainly to Rose and some of our activities, and definitely really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. It's been nice meeting you.
This independent programme has been brought to you by The Outdoors Station, the exciting new way to see and hear free information about the outdoors world. If you're a blogger, or if you have a website, you can now incorporate any of these podcasts directly to your site, completely free. visit our website, theoutdoorstation.co.uk, for more information.